Welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts Final Mix playthrough. We kind of... Actually, no, in the last part we didn't really crash the Gummy ship. We just kind of parked it on a beach somewhere. I'm actually not sure how it works, but this is...
This is Donald's magic at work, apparently.
Yeah, it's kind of something.
Yeah, what did you Sora a real face for once?
Yeah, a very much needed face, but yeah, I have very faint memories of Little Mermaid. I've watched it a couple times. You know, I know how it rolls. The game doesn't really follow the story too much. Like, you don't see the prince at all.
No.
In any way, shape, or form. And I thought it was kind of funny that Kingdom Hearts 2 basically retconned everything that happened here. But kind of getting ahead of myself there. This is the Kingdom Hearts 1 version of Atlantica. And the point I was going to make is that I don't really recall it ever having a name until this, but I could be wrong about that.
Atlantica?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I don't know, you're right. Probably isn't one. They just call it the ocean.
Now, what did you think about that that scene back there where Sora's kind of like trying to be incognito with kind of a different species? Like he's aware that he's got to try to blend in.
I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you don't see him trying to do that other places. Although I guess he doesn't need to. I guess Ariel's supposed to be very questioning. Was he supposed to be flustered too? I never got if that was supposed to be a point.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe too, to be honest.
Yeah, because they don't address it, but I don't know, maybe he's more focused on the mission.
Yeah.
Some weird fish lady.
Then again, I'd be flustered too if the only female I was ever around was Kairi. Abadunch!
Kairi does kind of just like a young boy. So,
that's a little mean, but...
Well, it's a fictional character. I don't think she'll take it too seriously.
Yeah, that's a good point. I really like that line.
You think that's more into self-defense?
And then... Jellyfish.
It's just like your training begins now.
You feel pretty much.
Well, it's true. What was he gonna teach him though? I don't
know. I don't know. That's why it's a really strange line.
I don't get about this is how come Ariel learns how to fight just after this fight? Maybe it's just the courage. I guess she gains the courage to fight after.
Atlantica's a very.
She just blasted through.
It's a bit of a clusterfuck, this world.
Yeah, not a fan favorite, which is probably why I didn't return.
Well, not being a fan favorite aside, it's just I really love that because it's like
save point.
Oh, sorry. That always gets me. But yeah, like I was saying, it's a very, I don't know if it's an actual term or not, but I heard there's a term that's called like written by idiots or something, where it's like they write the characters to fit the story, not the story fits the characters, or something like that. Might have been the other way around, but anyway, basically what it means is that when they need characters to be a certain way for the story to progress a certain way, that's what they do.
Oh.
And like you can't really do that.
Well,
you know.
Yeah. That's just what you call bad writing.
It is. It's like Ariel was adventurous, yeah, but she wasn't a fighter.
No, but you're right. Why did they? They could have not made her a party member.
Exactly.
But that would have been sexist. Perhaps. I don't know.
You know, that's actually a good point. She is the only female party member, actually, in the entire game.
Well, oh yeah, she is. And she's the only the one of two. Yes. Spoilers from Mulan. Never mind. You're already supposed to know that.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, at this point, everybody knows about the Kingdom Hearts series, unless you haven't, in which, you know, we apologize for the spoilers. But anyway, Atlantica as you can see, we've already reached, well, basically the whole tutorial back there was learning the swim mechanics, which is basically, infinite flight, I guess.
Yeah, it's virtually. You learn how to fly in a world later on,
Yeah.
and it's just the same thing. It's just, and it looks like it kind of looks like it works. It's just when you're swimming or flying, you lose the ability to dodge.
Yeah.
Which just dumbs down the gameplay really. Personally, this game, at least compared to the sequels, is kind of a little lacking. But at least this just doesn't have anything though. I never understand what type of strategy is involved in swimming or flying battles.
It really does.
Aside from magic, which I see you're using.
Yeah, no, I usually just whack everything to death, killing things with a blunt object is just a very satisfactory thing. But I made sure to make full use of my magic in this playthrough because it is a very forgettable feature, and especially for a world like this.
Very useful.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah.
It's definitely something you want to learn how to utilize, especially... I'll save that for the next part. But it's definitely something you want to master by the end of this world. At least, all I'm saying is pack a bunch of ethers and get ready for hell of a good time.
Being facetious, but...
I'm very, very, very facetious. I don't even know what the word is, but I agree with you.
But yeah, it's, Here with the magic... I don't know, I always feel like my issue with the magic was that it doesn't work on bosses, and that's why I feel like it's so forgettable. Very few bosses actually take enough damage to magic. Which they sort of fixed in the sequel, but for now, for this game, it's good for mobs, but that's probably why it's such an underrated.
Well, see, I think the problem is it's not so much it's ineffective against bosses. It's because they're bosses that they have so much health and such higher defense than normal enemies. You don't mind making that little bit of cost to kill a smaller enemy, but when it's a big boss that lasts a long time, you're more hesitant to make that MP cost.
Very true, because you're pretty much asking yourself, is the damage for this attack worth
and it's just
the amount of damage I could do with this much health?
It's just not. You're better off just, saving it for, cure. And arrow for the tougher ones. Because with attacking, there is no cost. You just risk getting hit. Now, I decided to do a little exploring for Atlantica because while it isn't, not even in my top 10 worlds, and this is top 10 as far as the entire series. I do admire the amount of exploration, even though it is kind of pointless. There are just a lot of nooks and crannies you can find, just a lot of different alternate paths, and
yeah, it's very
it's easy to get lost for sure, but that's why we have these crazy trident signs pointing.
Is that in the movie?
I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah, kind of weird. It's like I feel like they added those after they made the game. To some degree, they were like, this area is too confusing. Because no other game has anything like that.
Yeah, that's very true.
Or not other game, I mean any other world.
Yeah.
A bunch of games have things like that, but I wonder what these mushrooms do. Are we gonna find out?
Yes, we are. Obviously I'm not nearly ready for this particular challenge, but these particular white mushrooms stuck in basically frozen in time. This is the final mushroom encounter. Ta-da! What's this thing called again?
The pink Agaricus or something.
Something like that.
The mushroom.
I literally blanked out on what the hell this thing's called.
It sucks. It sucks. You cannot do it underwater. I don't know why they have one here.
Well, not even that. I'm not nearly prepared. Not only did I have a really low level of stop, my MP is horrible. But basically what you have to do is use stop to unfreeze the mushrooms, which is kind of a weird way of doing it. Stop means go. I guess because they're the enemies, they are supposed to not listen to you.
Oh, that's just the charades thing they do.
It is, but still, just anyway. And then once the big guy appears, you freeze him in time and hit him as many times as possible, up to 100 times. And if you can land that 100 times, congratulations, you know how to use the internet. But he does give off very rare materials. A specific material that I can't really name right now either, but it's very unique. Other
Serenity?
than the yes, thank you,
Serenity Mold or something like that.
something like that. Yeah,
Serenity Stone.
Serenity Stone.
Yeah, which you don't need the 100 for. The 100 does net you a bonus, but it's not.
You're just more likely to get it.
Yeah, like the more hits you get, like if it's like at 40, you have a 30% chance. 50, you have like a 50% chance. It's all just part of the grinding of the bonus Heartless in this game.
The trick to it is to max out your MP before taking it on. Just completely maxed out. Equip the... there's a Keyblade that ups it by 3. I won't say what it is, but it's really good for that particular bit. And that will extend the duration of how long your stop will work.
Yes.
I also recommend using the upgraded arrow spell. Because as long as you're close to it, you can inflict hits.
Does that count?
It does count, actually.
Okay. Because I heard they like, did you hear the thing about how they changed it where in this version if Donald and Goofy hit it, it actually goes down a notch?
You know, I don't think they're actually programmed to attack it.
But that's the thing. If you press triangle to activate the reaction command for the combo you need to actually get 100 hits, you tell them to attack. It was like I heard this was like a big complaint on the internet. It was like the perfect storm to make that challenge really frustrating in this version. Because if you don't actually know, the original bottom panel was not summon.
Yeah.
Summon was in the magic category. But Kingdom Hearts 2 introduced reaction commands, which are like these. It kind of replaced the interact button, which was the 4th slot in Kingdom Hearts 1. So they kind of like process it over here to make it simpler, and a very good improvement, I would say.
Well, you say introduced, but didn't Final Mix do it first?
No, Final Mix still just had it in Under the Magic.
Are you sure?
I am sure, yes. This was added for this.
Alright, I guess you would know.
I would know.
But, you know, other than being kind of an annoying mini game that's really end game to master, you're really only going to attempt to do it if you're going for the Ultima weapon, which is kind of a bitch in and of itself, and really the pink, is the least of your problems.
I don't know, I disagree. I thought that the worst thing to do, because you have to get like 40... That's exaggerating. You have to get a lot of things. That is the issue, is that they really shove the bonus Heartless down your throat. They like force you to get at least like 5 of each of their own items.
Which is annoying because, you know, the bonus Heartless had bonus items.
Does it have the penis building?
You know, I was looking for that exact thing. That's why I was waiting outside, but no, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, they probably got rid of it. If that was really ever an
If
issue.
it was ever a thing, the freaking sexual Disney things, like the rumor about the Catholic priest at the Little Mermaid wedding having a boner, that was busted. That was debunked, or whatever the term is.
It's his knee.
It's just his knee.
I like that little exposition there.
Yeah.
My trident. Oh, I wonder if something bad's gonna happen to it.
Oh, I know, right? Epic foreshadowing, don't you know? I thought his acting was accurate for the character he was trying to portray, but it still came off as kind of odd. Like he's trying to be the concerned old father.
Yeah, it sounds very character.
Yeah.
In character. Which might be... Well, maybe this is the real guy who voiced him, and they called him in and he's like, I have to do a stupid video game. You know, I've noticed there's so much Sora face in this. Like his actual real face in this world.
As opposed to the default, yeah.
Yeah, this one I was like, I wonder why.
Well, the side characters too, like Trident.
Yeah.
Trident has a lot of fully animated faces.
So does Ariel. I don't know, maybe they really like making this world. wouldn't be surprised. Maybe he likes the movie.
Couldn't give a shit about Sebastian, I noticed, though.
Well, he's a crab. He doesn't... Or a lobster. What is he? He's a lobster, I think.
I'm fairly certain, yeah.
See, if this is so funny, it's like the boyfriend who hangs out with him.
That's a good point. And he doesn't even question that. Like, you would think for an overprotective father, that would have been his first, instinct to point the trident at him. Mini boss. Something. I don't know. I
would have
think
been cool.
That would have been hilarious.
But no, I've always thought this was weird, how he brings it up and then he gets mad at him for it.
The keyhole.
Yeah, well, I found it weird. I don't know why they added this scene in. Is it just supposed to be to show Sebastian's character more? I don't know.
What, this extra bit after they leave?
Well, just that specific part. I know this part is just talking about Ursula, but...
Yeah. Well, the fact that he was curious about it.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just...
Well, it's good to have side characters that are, not just NPCs,
Yeah. I think they do try to make a big deal to make these characters kind of important. You'll notice in Kingdom Hearts 2 what characters that, canonically were supposed to be more bro-ish to Sora.
Very much so. Although, now that I think about it, that kind of builds... Sebastian's curiosity kind of builds up to a scene we'll be coming up on later about Sora's interaction with all these characters, all these people from different worlds that technically he shouldn't be doing as far as the lore is concerned.
Ooh, that was very pretty.
Yeah,
that sun shining down.
I've really like that, and it does beg the question: is it really that hard to find this place?
The underwater city of Atlantis, if it's just under the shore.
Yeah, it doesn't. The perspective doesn't look like it's that deep.
Yeah, probably. Well, actually, if you go to a grotto, it goes all the way to the top.
Exactly. It's like, what?
Maybe they're way far out in the ocean.
Contrary to popular belief, this the giant jellyfish that just exploded, that was by sheer luck. It's not because I used magic. It is completely by random chance. He will either just explode and die, or you will get the experience and he'll split up into a bunch of little jellyfish.
So it is truly random?
Yeah.
That's upsetting. That is the most frustrating thing, is that he is right. It'll just either just explode like that, or...
I like the way you worded that. It's very frustrating that he's right about something, but...
It is very frustrating. You are right.
I would know. But yeah, this is I almost said Ursula's Grotto. This is Ariel's Grotto.
I like this area. That was cool.
It's pretty nice. Something to look out for. I mean, I'll be showing it off, but what you want to look out for are the treasure chests that look out of place, and the treasure chests which designs are rather familiar because there are some very important items in there.
I do kind of like how they do sort of shade it down to look like it's been there for so long.
Yeah.
I thought it was
and it just blends in with everything else, which I thought was nice. Kind of like the what was it? The storeroom in Agrabah. It was hiding behind the barrels. Yeah, it was just part of the storage.
It just kind of looked like it was there. I still don't like this, and you're stealing her stuff.
She doesn't care. Obviously, she probably would have said something. Honestly, I think it would have been hilarious if you couldn't open it with her in your party. Just replace her with Goofy or Donald, make it just your regular party, and then you can take the treasure.
That would have been funny. Hey, no, that.
What the?
Oh no, those guys.
What the hell are they supposed to?
Eels.
What? I know that, but did they have glass eyes? Were they blind in one eye each?
I think they just. I don't know.
Now, this particular cutscene captures Ursula's character very nicely. It's very brief and to the point, but I did like it for what it was.
Yeah, this was very cool.
It's not necessarily her introduction, but,
Yeah, it's her.
Big, purple, and ugly, just, stereotypical witch factor, and... I don't know, I like that. Oh, something I forgot to bring up, actually, was this dolphin here. you need to ride it in this area at least once to have it show up in another area where it's very necessary for you to ride, because as you saw before, it swam very fast, and that will come in handy in an area we'll be coming up on. Kind of an annoying another event trigger, but you know, it's just one of those things you can easily miss if it's your first time playing the game.
The shells?
No, the dolphin.
Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah. What? Do you know what exactly brought it here? Because I remember,
Well,
in my most recent playthroughs, he just stayed where I needed him to be.
Well, no, he appears in that area first, and fuck you, pink guy. And if you ride him in that area, then he'll show up in this area, and then the next, and that's where he'll take you. I guess it like earns your trust, you know, just having fun riding. I don't know. You never know what's going on through these mammal sets.
That's just a weird world. What is that thing?
That's an urchin, my friend.
And do urchins explode?
Spoiler alert, this thing's about to... Oh my god. Just a little shortcut. There are a lot of shortcuts, and very convenient. I will be showing off pretty much all of them, because... the thing about the dolphin is that you can only ride him when you're not engaged in battle. Much like opening the treasure chests.
Yeah.
And this is very frustrating in a very broad area like Atlantica, Deep Sea, or whatever this particular section of it is called, because Heartless will just spawn everywhere.
Yes, very true. And the issue is that if you're looking for the dolphin, and you might spot him, and that is, I think, one of the biggest reasons. I don't know, I think we already talked about this, but how they fix that. If you could say it's fixed. Well, because I could see some people arguing that being able to do things like this while in battle, like, is part of the game.
It's authentic, but it doesn't make it any less annoying.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I feel like it's more annoying than it is like a challenge, I suppose, is what you'd call it.
Now, I'm sure those of you watching can put two and two together. The current is way too strong for us to swim against it. We had our good buddy take us to this area for us. And there will be a shortcut I'll be showing off to where we won't need him anymore, so... Really, you only need to use him those 2 times. In the first area to get him here, and then the second time to get us past the calm depths, which I find is a very contradictory name. I don't think there's anything calm about these depths.
Oh yeah, the shortcut in here, I always miss for some reason. Oh! My god, that was frightening.
I've wondered, you know, why it just... You would think something like that would just disappear. You know, just going... Well, yeah. I thought it was interesting how they programmed it to come back out of the area.
Well, I guess... Oh, they could be constantly be running where he is at that moment.
Maybe.
But... Yeah, right here, see, I always miss this, and I never know why.
Yeah, this is crucial if you want to save yourself the trouble of having to do all that again. And you get a very nifty item out of the by the end of it.
Do you know what was in it in the original game? Because I don't.
Well, for all I know, it could have been the same thing.
It's not, though. I think you get a dark matter from it.
Well, dark matter wouldn't have been in the original game.
That's what I mean. And it's an Orchulcum.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you pronounce Orchulcum?
Please stop saying that.
That's how it's spelled. Orchulcum. That's what it is spelled. I don't know if that is how you're supposed to pronounce it. Or Chowcum.
Or Chowcum.
What's this called? You know, we used to call them Orchulcums. Or Orchulums. Whatever we used to call them. I think that's a better name.
The many names of the... fuck. Jaws. All the references.
This scene is weird. We were talking about this earlier. Well, not in this, but... Dude. What the heck?
Yeah.
So many mysteries I don't know about.
I will give Atlantica credit. There are a lot of hidden treasures under the sea. Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
It's just...
Boom!
This is just one of those things where it's just like... It's
okay,
just...
Bye.
It's weird because you don't see that anywhere else.
Nope.
The game, like, go from gameplay to cutscene so fast like that.
Funny thing was, that part wasn't even a cutscene.
Yeah, because you could see the HUD thing was still on.
You just stopped in place. You couldn't move, and then it went into a dialogue cutscene.
And then we have, which isn't actually, and this is very reminiscent of the Sabor. It's not the same though. This never becomes like a real enemy to fight.
Yeah, and like, I would say Sabor played a slightly larger.
That's
role,
what I mean. It's
ever so
Sabor.
slightly in the Tarzan movie. This thing does appear in the Little Mermaid, but not as like a full blown. It's basically a chase scene for what I remember. But yeah, he that thing will respawn in this area a few times, and you can get some free items out of the deal. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, plus it gives you a decent chunk of experience. If you'd rather grind him than Heartless, but...
Well, yeah, for this point in the game, definitely. It was 100 whole experience.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a kind of interesting that they decided to actually put him in. It was cool, I guess. One of those things where it's like, you're surprised more worlds didn't do that.
Yeah.
Have like one token, like special enemy or something.
Well, that's kind of what I brought up in, what was it, Traverse Town? Where, like, somewhere down the line, the worlds just kind of felt really different from the first few ones. And really, it's just, each world is very unique. But it's like the first few kind of felt similar. Or maybe it's the latter ones. I'm not sure.
See,
Like, I really need to think about how I'm supposed to talk about that particular point.
this always annoyed me. Because he'll go into it, but he's going to go into some speech about how he knows about the Keyblade, yet he somehow lacks the Keyblade's, like, main function.
Which is?
To lock the keyhole, which is what he didn't want to summon because of the Heartless, but obviously he's got the kid right there to help him.
Yeah, but to be fair, he does just see him as a kid at this point.
But he doesn't, the Keyblade locks it.
Yeah, but as he's explaining now, he knew from the very beginning that, Sora's complete stranger, doesn't even belong in the world. And basically, he's the king of this world. So, I can kind of see where he's coming from, just as its protector, to keep it from any, even slightest chance. Like, I see what you're saying, but even the slightest chance of putting the world in danger, especially from his daughter, he wants to keep everybody as far away from that as possible.
I really like that scene. It's very... It comes more into play as the world and mythos sort of develop. But we'll talk about that more in the next scene. But
We'll be right back.